very careful, just a slight snip. There we go, that's what I like to see. Oh, hello viewer. This is Bonnie, my bonsai. Every couple weeks or so she needs a trim, otherwise her leaves get overgrown, and let me tell you, that does not look good. But you know, aside from that, bonsais make wonderful companions. First of all, they're easy to take care of because they're just plants. Just some water, a sunlight, a quick trim, and they're good to go. And besides, they're so simple yet so elegant. You know, if only people could learn to be like a bonsai. Now that I think about it, you can learn a lot from plants. Hey, viewer, don't laugh, it's not funny, I'm serious. You can learn a lot from plants. Okay, you can laugh all you want, viewer, but I think I'm right here. Even Howard Gardner says so. You remember Dr. Gardner, right? The man who came up with this theory of multiple intelligences. He said that every individual has different intelligences and that some of them are stronger, some of them are weaker, but they all work together to create somebody's mind. Yeah, well, he even has an intelligence dedicated to learning from nature and the environment and from other organisms. That's called Naturalistic Intelligence. Naturalistic Intelligence is relatively new. Dr. Gardner came up with this theory of multiple intelligences back in the 1980s, but it wasn't until a few years ago that Naturalistic Intelligence was added to the list of intelligences. After hearing some thoughts and suggestions from his peers, Gardner thought that none of the other intelligences really encompassed an area that learned from nature and the environment. Therefore, he came up with another intelligence, Naturalistic Intelligence, and gave it its own spotlight. Like the name implies, and like I said earlier, naturalistic intelligence involves learning from your surroundings, from your environment, and from other organisms. Like I said before, naturalistic intelligence involves observing and drawing conclusions from the surrounding environment, nature, and other organisms. It may sound kind of silly, but it makes sense. I'm sure you hear news stories all the time about pets that change people's lives, or how animal behavior inspired a completely new product. And you know, that isn't unusual. Lots of inventions today were actually inspired by animals. If any of you are divers or swimmers, for example, take the flippers. Those were inspired by ducks and other things with web-footed feet like beavers or platypuses. Hang gliders were inspired by albatrosses and hawks because they both use the same science for gliding and flying. The idea of a chainsaw actually came from watching a beetle. See, the beetle had oddly angular jaws, which, you know, was proven to cut the wood better, so somebody who saw that decided, hey, why don't we do that to our own saws, and bam! Chainsaw. Amazing! And it's not just about inventions. Naturalistic intelligence can also be displayed in all kinds of other ways. For example, our usage of domesticated plants and animals is a great way to show our naturalistic intelligence. Again, it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, because most of the other animals and plants on this planet have been around for much, much longer than us humans have. So clearly, if they're all still alive and thriving, then they must be doing something right, and we could definitely learn from them. It's important to appreciate what the rest of the planet can offer. If you still think I'm crazy, then go ahead and watch Pocahontas. I guarantee you, she, Steve Irwin, Jane Goodall, Charles Darwin, Frederick Law Olmsted, they all had strong natural intelligences. Usually people with a strong or a dominant naturalistic intelligence tend to find careers in agriculture, environmental science, geology, landscaping, botany, or wildlife conservation to be a suitable fit for them. So get out there and spend an hour bird watching or talking to a tree. You might be surprised by what you learn.